Afternoon, guys. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. First of all, for those that haven't used this before, this is a 360 video, so you can use your screen to you can use your cursor on the screen to spin around the screen and kind of see things from different angles, just so you can have perhaps a more 360 view of what's going on in here. One thing that I'm doing today, or the thing that I'm actually doing today, is I've got some of the grow lights in here. Even though there is quite a lot of light in here at the moment, we have around 9 lights in here. I'm just feeling there's a little bit of shadow in places. So for instance, this back corner over here, I'm feeling it's just a bit dark. Maybe over that way it's just a bit dark, and so I've ordered a new light. And what I would actually like to do is see the effect that this light is making just on the general light levels in the tent. So I'm going to take some readings in different parts of the tent so that I can see how they hold up, and then what I'll do is I'll change configuration of these lights. I'll put the new lights up and we'll see how much of a difference it makes. And it will definitely make a difference because the lights have got a really big LED grow lights, similar to these ones here, except that they are in one big large unit. So I'll probably get rid of some of these CFL lights. I'll probably retain these kind of hanging lights. Definitely will retain the sodium light, but we'll put that up and we'll see how it goes. And whilst I do that, I don't know if it's interesting to the majority of the people that kind of watch what I put out, but perhaps people out there that are trying to set up a grow tent like this might be able to use it to get an idea of the best way to light a tent like this. There's not a lot of information online. There's a lot of information if you're growing weed and things like that, but just in general for a tent like this, I haven't been able to find a lot of information. So I've got this on times 10 at the moment. Where I'm standing, just not too far away from these lights, you can see we're around 8,000 kind of lux at belly button height. At the front door, at the entrance, we're more like 1,000 lux, so it's definitely much, we're at 900 lux in fact here, fluctuating between 800 and 900 at the front door, so quite dark over this particular side of the tent, again at belly button level. A little bit under the grow lamp, under a couple of these lights here, we're at 15,000 lux at belly button level. Over towards this canister, we're at around 18,000 lux. In this back corner over here, if I hold that out a bit, in the back corner we're down to around 6,000 lux, and on the other side of this relinia, which is where a patch that I'm worried about, we're actually down to 2,000 lux. So back here where I said we were at 7,000, down here we're down to 2,600, fluctuating up to around 3,000. Dragon fruit at about the same level, we're at 2,000. Over here where the choir muck is, we're around 2,000 lux. Higher over here, around 10,000 lux. That's because of this brighter LED glow here and the reflection off the wall, so 10,000 lux over there. Over where the seeds are starting, it's around 10 or 11,000 lux. Back corner where this cherimoya is, we're about 5,000 lux. And I'm going to put it in a couple of pots at ground level just so I have an idea about, and it's more stable if I hold it there. So on this seed bed, underneath the LED light, we're at 9,000 lux. In this pot down here, ground level, it's around 2,000 lux. Down here, it's around 1,000 lux, 127 times 10, so it's 1,200 lux. Dragon fruit, it's around 2,800 lux. Around 3,800 3,900 lux. $3,200 lux. $8,000 lux. So these LED lights absolutely much better in terms of light output, that's for sure. 4,000 lux down there in the ice cream bean, and in the base of the cherimoya we're at about 2,500 lux. So these are kind of like my baseline readings throughout the tent. If I can stitch these 360 videos together, I will, and that will kind of give us a before and after, where you'll be able to rotate through the tent and you'll be able to see what the current lighting situation is. And then once I put the new lights in, you'll be able to see how that's changed and how much brighter it is actually in here. I might do a few more of these 360s in the future, I'm not sure yet. I just want to test it out at the moment, see if I can stitch this together. But that's at least our initial starting videos, so be back later. If I can't stitch them together, by the way, I'll just post them as parts 1 and parts 2. Alright, catch you later, guys. Okay guys, I'm back. It was a very long, arduous process to install this light that you see up here, right above the camera. This pole, if you see it, this is the main support pole for the center of the tent, and you can see it runs straight through the light on. So basically, because I wanted this light to be centered, because it's the largest light in the room. And to do that, I had to disconnect. I haven't even reconnected it, so that's fun. Oh, it's so bright. Let me just turn this down so I can see what's going on here. We'll turn it down for a second so I can see what's going on. I haven't properly even reconnected the... That's 1 and 2. Okay. So this is the main support of the tent, and it's now carrying the entire load of all of these lights and everything that are in here. And I might turn this back up. And so to install this, I had to get my wife to help me carry this. This thing here weighs about 12 kilos and it's a little bit high off the ground, and I had to pull the support up and get the pole through the middle. It was an ordeal anyway. And you probably remember that I had a bunch of these CFL lights here, and if I'm able to blend these videos together, you'll see them. There was some CFL lights. Now the CFLs that I had, I ordered 4 of them off eBay. And when I put them all together and turned them all on and tested them, one of those 4 were giving me tingles in my fingers, and the electricians out there will know that tingles in the fingers is a bad thing. In fact, everybody knows that. And whilst I was connecting these lights, I had all the other lights still on, because obviously the tent is black and dark. If there's no lights, it's just a tent. And my back, if you can see, I don't know if you can see how hot it is in here, it was very sweaty. I put my back up against one of those lights as I was lifting this and putting things, and bang! Got hit really hard with a jolt of electricity. Turned obviously flicked all the switches here, and all the lights went black. And yeah, so got a bit of an electric shock to wake me up in the morning, but it's all done now. So it was an ordeal, it was hard work. Putting this together was hard, getting it in here was hard, but now it's all done. And immediately upon turning it on, I can see how much brighter it is in here already. And I think it was definitely the right thing to do. Definitely the right thing to get that in here, because I thought the lights might have been a little bit inadequate, but now that it's actually in, I can tell that it was inadequate, and now I've got a little bit more room. You can see I've also moved some of the pots around a bit. Some of that was to do with me struggling to get this huge light in place. This is about a metre or so across and a metre or so wide, so it's a big light. There's something like 4,000 LEDs on this thing. So that's all done. The only thing that I want to do now is hang one more globe from this corner here, like one of these globes here. Just maybe I'll even move this one, I'm not sure, just so that I can have this back corner with a little bit more light, but otherwise we're good to go. Now, I was going to do some before and after measurements, so let's see how we're going. The other thing is these LEDs are so much nicer than the other lights that I had hanging up, banging my head on before. It was just a hassle. They don't put off that much light. They're a little bit cheap to start with, so maybe me getting a bit of an electric jolt from one of them was just me being cheap and buying a cheap one to start with. But not very pleasant. Alright, so where I'm standing right here now, we've got about 15,000 lux. And I don't remember what it was before. I think it was about 5 or 6, I can't remember, but this is why I do these videos. I don't know about you other kind of guys out there, the gardening guys that put these videos together, whether or not you go back and watch them again after you make them, but I'm always watching mine at least 3 times, 4 times, trying to watch what I did, and I use it almost like a diary. I go back and I see, I go, oh wow, I didn't realise that plant grew so much. Oh wow, I didn't realise that the lights were so bright. Oh wow, I didn't realise how hot it was and how sweaty I was in that tent. And right now in the tent we have 31.4 degrees at 52% humidity. So all of these things I like to document. So I'll rewatch this video and I'll compare the lights readings that I'm reading out now to what they were before. So right now where I'm standing, belly button height again, 1200 lux in this position. Right under this light we have 26,000 lux, which is really great. Over in this corner we have 19,000 lux. Over in this corner we have 8,000 lux. In this corner here we have 11,000. Back corner over here with one of the LEDs that I moved over this way, so it's going to be a lot brighter. We have 16,000 lux at about approximately belly button height. In this back corner here, which is the lowest spot before, we're still only getting about 2,000. So this is where I really need to kind of up my light game in this back corner. Down here we have some Bajob Potacaba, we have a black sapote, and we have a rose apple down here. And the rose apple is my least favourite plant of everything that I own. Maybe not the least, but close to the least, but that's why it's got the dark corner over here. Now the sodium lamp, you can see I moved across this way so that these lights down here, these plants are linear in the corner here. We've got the Mame Sapoto, we've got the Canistel. Oh wow, look, this cherimoya has actually got some bleaching on its leaves, so it must have had some light damage. It must have been leaning up against a light bulb or something. But all of these are kind of my happy corner. So right here, 20,000 lux. 21,000 lux. That corner over here, 15,000 lux. 12,000 lux. And I put it on some pots before, so I'm going to do the same thing just to get those readings off here. So down here we have 5,000 lux. We have 12,000 lux. We have 10,000 lux. 13,000 lux. 10,000 lux. And right on the pot that's kind of shaded we have 4,000 lux. So I think it's a really good increase. I can see, I feel like there's just a lot more freedom to move around here now. I feel like this particular light up here has shaped a lot of space, a lot of headroom. The things that I want to do from here is to tidy up these cables a bit over this side, which I'll do once I finalise my light configuration. I want to bring a couple more plants in here. I've got a Babaco outside that still needs to come in. I have a few other plants on the way. You can see I've repotted up. If you can see on the camera angle here, these are some jacarandas that were seeds and seedlings, and they are being put into a new pot now. We have my chili seedlings that I planted the other week coming up, including this one down here, which is a fatale. It has taken ages to come up, but I've got one fatale popping, a second fatale popping. These are peach fatales and the normal fatales, and all these other are kind of heirloom chili varieties of different strength. Interesting to see. This must have been touching a light bulb because we have heat damage here. We have bleaching of the leaf here. Must have been touching one of these bulbs at some point. In the corner over here, this is the jackfruit. The jackfruit is doing spectacular. And one of the things that I'd noticed, and the thing that really got me onto the idea that maybe the lights weren't sufficient, was that everything when they came in had that initial flush of growth. We watched a video where all of these brand new leaves came on. All of these new leaves came on, but after they came through, they all slowed down. And maybe plants grow in fits and bursts, I don't know. but more likely what I think is that there was an initial increase in humidity and lights, but the light levels themselves weren't sufficient to have really robust growth kind of kicking on the plants. At least that's my theory. So this is the updated grow tank, guys. I hope the 360 video is interesting to you. I hope that me getting electrocuted is worth all the effort. I'm yet to take off my shirt to see if I've got any marks on my back. It was a hefty bolt, guys. It smacked, I tell you. It was like getting hit over the back with a log, as if someone just hit you with a bat or something. Lucky that these boards all have circuit breakers built into them. Even the one that these are all connected to outside has circuit breakers, plus it's connected to house mains. Very lucky that we live in this sort of world where you can't just kill yourself from these sort of things. But that's everything. Thank you very much. We'll see you again in the next one.